My name is Zara King. I'm 37. On Saturday, September 9th at 4:23 p.m., I was standing in the emergency room of Mercy General Hospital holding a patient's hand while she coded, when my phone buzzed 17 times in 90 seconds with messages from family members telling me I'd stolen my father's three-story commercial building worth $8,000 in monthly rental income. The patient lived, my reputation didn't. The texts were all variations of the same theme. My brother Nathan had called an emergency family meeting at Uncle Rick's house. He had documents. He had proof. He said I'd forged Dad's signature on a property transfer 2 days before Dad died of complications from his diabetes medication. Dad had been dead for 6 weeks. I'd worked every single shift since his funeral, covering for other nurses who'd sent flowers and cards. I hadn't looked at a single legal document. I hadn't even opened the envelope from Dad's lawyer. Before I go on, if stories about standing up for yourself mean something to you, please hit like and subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now and what time is it there. I clocked out at 11:47 p.m. and drove straight to Uncle Rick's house on Pinewood Avenue. The porch light was off, the driveway was empty, everyone had already left. I sat in my car for 22 minutes before I drove home. Let me take you back 19 years to the day I learned the word adopted. I was 18, sitting in the kitchen of our house on Elmhurst Drive, filling out college applications, when Nathan walked in with a smirk I'd seen 1,000 times before. "You know you're not really a king, right?" he said. I looked up from my financial aid forms. "What?" "Dad and Mom adopted you when you were 3 months old. I heard them talking about it." He leaned against the counter, arms crossed. "That's why you don't look like us. That's why you're different." The floor seemed to tilt. "You're lying." "Ask them." I did. That night, over meatloaf and mashed potatoes that tasted like cardboard, Mom confirmed it with tears in her eyes, and Dad confirmed it with a hand on my shoulder and the words, "You're ours, Zara. Biology doesn't change that." Nathan watched from across the table with that same smirk. What he didn't see, what he never saw, was Dad pulling me aside after dinner, walking me out to the back porch where the jasmine grew wild against the fence. "I need to tell you something," Dad said. His hands smelled like the wood polish he used on his furniture projects. "Your birth mother was very young. She wanted you to have a better life. And when I held you for the first time, you grabbed my finger and looked right at me, and I thought, this is my daughter. Nathan thinks it means I don't belong. Nathan thinks a lot of things." Dad knelt down so we were eye level. "But here's what I know. Blood doesn't make you family. Choice does. I chose you, Zara. Every single day I choose you. And when I'm gone, when I'm very old and very tired and it's time, you'll know exactly how much I meant that." He kissed my forehead. "You're my brave girl, my emergency responder. Even when you were little, you always ran toward the crying, not away from it." I became an ER nurse because of that conversation. Because Dad saw something in me I hadn't seen in myself. He died on July 24th at 6:14 a.m. in the ICU after his blood sugar dropped too low, too fast. The doctor said it happens sometimes with diabetes, medication interactions, missed doses. I was there. I held his hand. His last words were, "Take care of yourself, brave girl." Nathan arrived 40 minutes later, dressed in a suit like he'd been expecting it. The first betrayal came 9 days after the funeral. I was sorting through Dad's papers in his home office, the room that still smelled like wood polish and coffee, when Nathan showed up with a folder and our cousin Emily. "We need to talk about the building," Nathan said. Dad owned a 3-story commercial building downtown at 412 Riverside Avenue. Ground floor was a coffee shop. Second floor was an accounting firm. Third floor was a small law office. Rent was $8,000 a month total. Dad had bought it in 1998 for $240,000, and now it was worth $1.2 million. "What about it?" I asked. Nathan opened the folder. "Dad transferred it to me before he died. Here's the deed, signed August 20th, notarized at Westside Legal Services." I stared at the paper. Dad's signature was right there, shaky but legible, next to Nathan's name as the new owner. "That's 2 days before he died," I said slowly. He knew he was dying. He wanted to make sure his son got the family business. "I'm his daughter." "You're adopted." Nathan said it like it was a diagnosis. "Emily, back me up here. This is fair, right?" Emily wouldn't look at me. I mean, legally, if he signed it. Dad wouldn't do this, I said. My hands were shaking. Not without telling me. Maybe he did tell you and you forgot. Nathan's smile was thin. You were pretty distracted those last few weeks, working all those shifts. Maybe you weren't paying attention when it mattered. That phrase became his signature move. You weren't paying attention when it mattered. I tried to argue, tried to explain that Dad had always talked about splitting everything equally, that the building was supposed to fund my eventual retirement, that this made no sense. Nathan just kept tapping the deed. It's legal, it's done. You weren't paying attention when it mattered, Zara. You never do. Emily left first, mumbling something about needing to pick up her kids. I sat in Dad's office chair and stared at the signature for 37 minutes, counting the loops in Dad's handwriting, trying to make them not be real. Over the next 3 weeks, I discovered the full extent of Nathan's campaign. He'd called everyone, aunts, uncles, cousins, Dad's old friends from the Rotary Club. The story was always the same. I'd been angry about being adopted, I'd confronted Dad before he died, I'd tried to manipulate him into leaving me the building, and when that failed, I'd contested Nathan's rightful inheritance. None of it was true, but Nathan told it so well. My cousin Marcus sent a text. I can't believe you'd do this to Nathan after everything he's done for the family. Everything he'd done for the family. Nathan, who'd borrowed $30,000 from Dad 3 years ago and never paid it back. Nathan, who'd missed Dad's 70th birthday because he was too busy with work. Nathan, who'd called exactly twice during Dad's final hospitalization. But I was the villain now. I stopped going to family dinners, stopped answering calls. I had $14,240 in my checking account. Enough for rent and groceries, not enough for a lawyer. I worked 60-hour weeks at Mercy General, pulling double shifts in the ER, triaging gunshot wounds and heart attacks and broken bones, trying not to think about how my own family had broken me. My supervisor, Dr. Elena Rodriguez, noticed. You okay, King? You've picked up 7 extra shifts this month. I'm fine. That's what people say when they're not fine. I appreciated her not pushing. I appreciated that the ER was the one place where the truth was simple. Bleeding or not bleeding, breathing or not breathing, savable or not savable. Everything had clear answers, unlike family. Then, on September 9th, the day everything changed, Nathan showed up at the hospital. I was restocking supplies in Trauma Bay 3 when I heard his voice in the hallway. Excuse me, I'm looking for my sister, Zara King. Is she working today? My stomach dropped. I stepped out into the corridor. Nathan, you can't be here. I just wanted to talk. He was wearing his realtor blazer, the expensive one he'd bought after he started making commission. About the building, I feel bad about how things went down. Dr. Rodriguez was at the nurses' station with 2 other nurses, Claudia and James. A patient's family was waiting by the vending machines. At least 6 people were watching. This isn't the place, I said quietly. Where is the place? You won't return my calls. His voice was so reasonable, so hurt. I'm trying to make peace here, Zara. I'm trying to do the right thing. The right thing would be honoring what Dad actually wanted. Dad wanted me to have the building. He signed the papers. Nathan pulled a folded document from his pocket. I brought a copy in case you wanted to see it again. See his signature. Maybe it'll help you accept reality. I don't need to see it. You never paid attention when it mattered. He said it loud enough for everyone to hear. That's always been your problem. Dad was trying to talk to you about his plans, and you were too busy playing hero here at the hospital to listen to your own father. Something shifted inside me then. Not anger, something colder, something that locked into place like a door sealing shut. I looked at Nathan and said very calmly, I need to get back to work. Of course you do. Work is all you have now, isn't it? He turned to Dr. Rodriguez. I'm sorry about my sister. She's been under a lot of stress since our father died. Sometimes she doesn't process things rationally. Dr. Rodriguez's expression didn't change. Sir, visiting hours for non-patients are over. You need to leave. Nathan left, but not before he looked back at me and said, You weren't paying attention when it mattered, Zara. I finished my shift, restocked trauma bays, logged vitals, helped intubate a 52-year-old man having a severe asthma attack. Did my job. But that night, I went through the boxes I'd brought from Dad's house. Medical records from his final month, prescription bottles, hospital discharge papers. And tucked inside a folder labeled Zara Emergency Info, I found a sealed envelope with my name written in Dad's handwriting. The envelope was thick, legal size, sealed with clear tape. The postmark was dated July 15th, 9 days before Dad died. It had been mailed to his own address, like he was sending himself a letter. I didn't open it, not yet, because I recognized the return address. Hartwell and Associates, the law firm on the third floor of Dad's building. Whatever was inside, Dad had planned it before he died. I put the envelope in my work locker at the hospital and tried to forget about it. But I couldn't. Because 5 days later, Nathan made his next move. The certified letter arrived on September 14th. Nathan was suing me for harassment and defamation related to my false claims about the building transfer. He was seeking $50,000 in damages, plus a court order requiring me to stop spreading malicious lies about his character. The lawsuit claimed I'd been making unfounded accusations of fraud and elder abuse to family members, attempting to damage Nathan's reputation and business relationships. I hadn't said a word to anyone, but Nathan was getting ahead of the story, making sure everyone knew I was the problem. The court date was set for November 3rd. I couldn't afford a lawyer. I had $12,800 in the bank now. I'd picked up 3 more shifts. But lawyers wanted retainers of $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 just to start. I worked, I slept, I went through the motions. And then, on September 28th, I got a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. "Miss King, this is Robert Hartwell from Hartwell and Associates. I was your father's attorney." My heart stopped. "Yes?" "I apologize for the delay in reaching out. Your father left specific instructions about timing." His voice was gentle. "He asked me to wait until certain conditions were met before contacting you." "What conditions?" "He said to wait until Nathan tried to take legal action against you. He said I'd know when it happened." Mr. Hartwell paused. "I saw the lawsuit filing 3 days ago. I believe this is what your father was anticipating." "I don't understand." "I have something for you. Your father left very specific instructions. Can you meet me tomorrow at 2 p.m.? My office is on the 3rd floor of 412 Riverside Avenue. Dad's building, the one Nathan claimed to own. I work at 2. I think you'll want to call in for this." I met him the next afternoon. The law office was small but professional. Dark wood furniture, framed degrees on the wall, a window overlooking the street where Dad used to park when he collected rent checks. Mr. Hartwell was in his late 50s, gray-haired, with kind eyes behind thin glasses. He stood when I entered and shook my hand firmly. "Zara, your father talked about you constantly. His brave girl, he called you." The phrase hit me like a punch to the chest. "He did?" "Oh, yes. He was immensely proud of you." Mr. Hartwell opened a drawer and pulled out a leather portfolio. "He came to me in March of this year. He said he needed to protect something. He said Nathan was already circling, already asking about the building, already counting assets." He handed me the portfolio. "Your father asked me to give you this when the time was right. I'm not permitted to tell you what's inside. Those were his instructions. But he asked me to give you this letter first." He handed me an envelope, heavy cream paper, my name in Dad's careful handwriting. I opened it with shaking hands. The letter read, "My dearest Zara, my brave girl, if you're reading this, then I'm gone. And Nathan is already doing exactly what I knew he would do, trying to take the building I meant for you. I'm so sorry I couldn't stop this while I was alive. I tried talking to Nathan, tried making him understand that family isn't about blood or biology or being the real child. But Nathan doesn't hear words. He only hears paperwork." Asterisk. "Do you remember when you were 18 and Nathan told you that you weren't really a king? You came to me crying, asking if it was true that you didn't belong. I told you then, I chose you. Every single day, I choose you. I meant that, Zara. I meant every word. The deed Nathan showed you, the one dated August 20th, is a forgery. The signature is mine, but I didn't sign it willingly." On August 18th, Nathan came to visit me in the hospital. He brought me a pill he said was my insulin regulator. It wasn't. The hospital records will show a sedative in my bloodstream that day. Lorazepam, 4 milligrams, unaccounted for in my chart. He drugged me and had me sign papers while I was barely conscious. Asterisk. The original deed, the one I signed when I was of sound mind and body, is with Mr. Hartwell. It transfers the building to you, Zara King, my daughter, not my adopted daughter, my daughter. Inside this portfolio, you'll find the real property deed dated March 12th, 2023, transferring 412 Riverside Avenue to you. Hospital records from August 18th showing the unexplained sedative in my system. Security footage timestamps from the hospital. Mr. Hartwell has the actual footage. My medical chart notes where I told Dr. Patel the next day that I couldn't remember signing anything. *** a toxicology report. I requested be sealed until after my death. ***. Witness statements from 2 nurses who saw Nathan enter my room with outside medications. ***. Don't confront Nathan yet. Let him think he's won. Let him file his lawsuit, make his claims, tell his stories. The truth is patient. Mr. Hartwell will guide you on timing. You are not invisible, Zara. You are not less than. You are my daughter, and you always have been. You are the person who runs toward the crying, not away from it. That's why I chose you. That's why I will always choose you. Be brave, my girl. The truth is coming. All my love, Dad. Emergency responder. I read it 3 times. My hands were shaking so hard the paper rustled like dry leaves. Mr. Hartwell sat quietly, giving me space. Finally, he said, "There's more. Your father also established a legal defense fund in your name, $35,000, specifically designated for any legal costs related to protecting your inheritance from Nathan." He knew, I whispered. He knew exactly what Nathan would do. He did, and he prepared accordingly. Mr. Hartwell opened the portfolio. These are the original documents. The real deed is registered with the county, has been since March. Nathan's version was never officially recorded because it's fraudulent. Your father made sure of that. Inside were folders, each labeled in Dad's handwriting. Hospital records, toxicology reports, witness statements from Nurse Patricia Chen and Nurse Michael Torres, both stating they saw Nathan bring personal medications to Dad's room and stay for 40 minutes alone with him. At the bottom was a small wooden box, the kind Dad used for his special furniture projects. Inside was a silver bracelet engraved with the words, "Brave Girl, Emergency Responder, Chosen Daily." I wore it when I walked out of Mr. Hartwell's office. I wore it to every shift. I wore it every single day. Nathan called me 11 times over the next 4 weeks. I didn't answer. His voicemails escalated from concerned. "Zara, we need to talk about this lawsuit. I don't want it to go to court." To angry. "You're making this worse for yourself." To desperate. "I'm trying to help you understand reality here." I saved every single one. Mr. Hartwell filed a response to Nathan's lawsuit. He didn't reveal the evidence yet. Just a formal denial and a counterclaim for fraud, elder abuse, and forgery. Nathan's lawyer called it a desperate bluff. And then, on October 19th, I got a text from my cousin Emily. "Hey, Zara, I'm having a baby shower next Saturday at my place, 2 p.m. I know things have been weird with Nathan, but I really want you there. Can we please just be family for one afternoon?" I stared at that text for a full minute. Emily's house on Maple Ridge Court. The same Emily who'd stood in Dad's office and backed up Nathan's lie. I texted back, "What time?" 2 p.m. Please come, I miss you." I forwarded the text to Mr. Hartwell. He called me immediately. "This is it," he said. "This is your moment. Emily invited Nathan too, didn't she?" "Probably. He's going to use this to humiliate you publicly, to show the family that you're the problem, that you're unstable, that you're the one causing drama." Mr. Hartwell's voice was firm. "So we're going to let him try. And then we're going to show everyone what your father left for you." "How many people will be there?" "Baby showers, 30, 40 people minimum, all family, all witnesses." "I'm terrified." "Your father knew you would be. That's why he prepared everything. You just have to show up and tell the truth." Saturday, October 26th. I arrived at Emily's house at 1:58 p.m., wearing navy blue scrubs. I'd come straight from a morning shift. With the bracelet Dad made visible on my wrist, and Mr. Hartwell's leather portfolio in my bag. The house was full. I counted 38 people. Aunts, uncles, cousins, family friends, pink and blue balloons everywhere. A table piled with gifts. A cake that said, "Welcome Baby Emma" in frosting. Nathan was standing by the punch bowl, wearing khakis and a button-down, playing the devoted uncle. He saw me and his smile froze for just a second. Emily rushed over. "Zara, you came!" She hugged me, and I could feel how tense she was. "I'm so glad you're here." I sat in a folding chair near the door, escape route clear. The shower proceeded normally for 30 minutes. Games, gift opening, laughter. I smiled when appropriate, clapped when expected, said nothing. Then Uncle Rick stood up to give a toast. "Before we cut the cake, I just want to say how grateful we are to have family here. All of us. Even when things get complicated." He looked pointedly at me. Family means working through disagreements. It means choosing love over pride. Nathan stepped forward. "Uncle Rick is right. And actually, I want to address something." He looked around the room. "Most of you know that Zara and I have been having some difficulties since Dad passed, some legal disagreements." Dead silence, everyone turned to look. "I don't want to get into specifics at Emily's baby shower. This is her day. But I do want to say publicly that I've tried everything to make peace with my sister." Nathan's voice was so sincere, so pained. "Dad left me the building downtown. He made that choice. And I've offered multiple times to share the rental income with Zara, to help her out. But she keeps accusing me of fraud." Aunt Carol gasped softly. "Fraud?" "She claims I forged Dad's signature, that I somehow manipulated a dying man." Nathan's eyes were wet. "It's been incredibly hurtful. Dad made his choice. He wanted his son to have the family business, and Zara can't accept that." I counted to 5, then I stood up. "May I say something?" Nathan's eyes widened, surprised I was speaking. "Of course." I reached into my bag and pulled out the leather portfolio, set it on the gift table next to the diaper cake. "Dad left me something too. A letter, written in March, 4 months before he died." I pulled out the letter. Read it aloud. Every word. The part about Nathan drugging him. The part about the forged signature. The part about "I choose you every single day." The room was dead silent. Nathan's face went white. That's fake. She made that up." "This is the original property deed dated March 12, 2023. Dad transferred 412 Riverside Avenue to me. It's registered with the county. Has been for 7 months." I placed it on the table. 3 people leaned forward to look. "This is the hospital record from August 18th. It shows lorazepam in Dad's bloodstream, a sedative that wasn't prescribed to him." Nathan stepped back. He asked me to bring." "These are witness statements from 2 nurses, Patricia Chen and Michael Torres. They both saw you bring outside medications into Dad's room. You stayed alone with him for 40 minutes. I pulled out another folder. "This is the toxicology report Dad requested before he died. He told Dr. Patel he couldn't remember signing any documents on August 18th. The doctor made a note. Dad was suspicious even then." Uncle Rick was staring at the documents. "Oh my God. And this?" I pulled out my final piece of evidence. "Is my work schedule from Mercy General Hospital for August 18th. I was working the ER from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. badge swipe records. Patient charts I signed. Dr. Elena Rodriguez witnessed me treating a cardiac arrest at 2:47 p.m., the exact time Nathan claims Dad chose to sign his building over." I looked at Nathan. His face had gone from white to red, mouth opening and closing. "I couldn't have been manipulating Dad. I was saving someone's life." "I didn't drug him." Nathan's voice went shrill. "He was confused. He was sick. He needed help." "Help signing a property deed?" Aunt Carol's voice was ice. "No. It was his insulin. He asked me." Nathan grabbed his phone. "This is insane. She's making this up. Dad wanted me to have the building. I'm his real son. He stopped, realized what he'd just said. "Your real son?" I said quietly. The room erupted. Cousin Marcus swore. Aunt Carol stood up. Emily pressed both hands to her mouth. Uncle Rick walked over to the table, picked up the hospital report, read it carefully. "Jesus Christ, Nathan, you drugged him." "I didn't. I was trying to help. He was confused about his medications. I was just trying to—" "You forged a property deed." Uncle Rick's voice was shaking. "You stole from your dying father." "He would have wanted me to have it anyway. I'm the real heir. I'm the one who—" Nathan looked around wildly. "None of you understand. She's always been Dad's favorite. Always. The adopted kid who could do no wrong. I had to fight for everything." "By drugging him?" Emily's voice was barely a whisper. Nathan grabbed his jacket. "Fuck all of you. Keep the building, Zara. Keep everything. I don't need any of it. Nathan, Uncle Rick started. No, I'm done. I'm done with this family. I'm done pretending like biology doesn't matter. He pointed at me. You weren't paying attention when it mattered, Zara. You never saw what I had to do to compete with you. He left, slammed the door hard enough to shake the balloon arch. No one spoke for a long moment. Then Aunt Carol said, Zara, I owe you an enormous apology. Me too, Uncle Rick said quietly. Emily was crying. I should have questioned it. I should have asked more. I'm so sorry. I gathered the documents and put them back in the portfolio. Dad knew this would happen. That's why he prepared everything. He knew Nathan would try this, and he knew I'd need proof. I looked around the room. The lawsuit hearing is Monday at 10 a.m. Mr. Hartwell is representing me. If anyone wants to know the truth, all of this is now public record. I left before anyone could respond. Got in my car, a 2015 Toyota with 160,000 miles that I'd bought with my first nursing paycheck, and drove to the hospital for my evening shift. I didn't cry. I didn't call anyone. I put on my scrubs and I triaged a motorcycle accident, and I saved the lives I could save. The hearing on Monday lasted 8 minutes. Nathan's lawyer withdrew that morning via email. Nathan didn't show up. The judge reviewed Mr. Hartwell's evidence, reviewed the hospital records, and dismissed Nathan's lawsuit with prejudice. He also referred the case to the district attorney for potential criminal prosecution. Mr. Hartwell shook my hand outside the courtroom. Your father would be very proud. I visited Dad's grave that afternoon. Riverside Cemetery, Section C, Plot 23. Simple granite headstone. David King, 1952 to 2024. Father, friend, chooser of family. I sat on the grass and touched the bracelet on my wrist. Thank you for choosing me. The wind moved through the trees. It sounded like pages turning in a book. 7 months later, I'm still working at Mercy General. I'm head nurse in the ER now. Dr. Rodriguez promoted me in January. I make $82,000 a year plus benefits. I kept the building at 412 Riverside Avenue. The rental income is $8,000 a month. I use half of it for a scholarship fund at the community college, the David King Memorial Scholarship for adopted students studying healthcare. Dad would have liked that. I renovated the small office on the 3rd floor where Mr. Hartwell used to work. It's my space now. Dad's wooden boxes are on the shelves. The bracelet he made me sits in a glass case next to a photo of us from my nursing school graduation. Nathan sent an email in March. Subject line, I'm sorry. Body, 3 words. I was wrong. I didn't respond. Maybe someday I will. But forgiveness isn't something I owe him. Family isn't something he gets to define. Uncle Rick calls every few weeks. We talk. It's awkward, but we're trying. He admitted he'd always known Nathan was jealous, but it was easier to believe Nathan than to confront him. I told him truth isn't always easy, but it's always worth documenting. If you're watching this and someone has ever made you feel invisible, made you feel like you don't belong because of biology or circumstance, type I belong in the comments. Or if you're still waiting for your moment, for your proof, for someone to choose you, type I'm still waiting. Both are real. Both matter. If this story meant something to you, check the description for more stories just like this one. Thank you for being here. It's spring now. The jasmine is blooming outside my apartment window. I was making coffee this morning. The good kind. The kind Dad used to drink. When I thought about that day at Emily's baby shower. How small I'd felt walking in. How terrified. I'm not small anymore. I touched the bracelet on my wrist and I remember. Being chosen isn't about biology. It's about someone seeing you clearly and loving you anyway. And when someone chooses you that deeply, that deliberately, they make sure the world knows it too, even after they're gone.